Hello, everyone. It's Setare here. Welcome. I'm going to be going live with Dr. Carrie Niven. She is a clinical psychologist and she's also a wellness coach. And we're going to be discussing mental and emotional health and the chronic illness journey. I think it's really an important topic to discuss because I think that dealing with chronic illness, it's incredibly traumatizing. And I think if we are not taking care of our mental and emotional health during our healing journeys, it can really hold us back in our physical healing as well. So I'm really excited to discuss this with her, and hopefully we can share some valuable insights for you. If you do have any questions, please post them, and then if we have time at the end, we'll go over them. Hi. How are
Hi.
you doing?
I'm very well, Dr. Setare. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. So I just want to introduce you very quickly. This is Dr. Carrie Niven. She is a clinical psychologist and a wellness coach as well. And Carrie, you actually went through your own chronic illness healing journey. So would you mind sharing kind of like a brief kind of Spark Notes version of your healing journey and kind of how that went and how you're doing now?
Yes, thank you. Well, first of all, thank you so much, Dr. Setare, for having me today. I so appreciate it. I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroiditis back in 2011. But when I look back on my life, I realized that I was sick for a very long time. The symptoms I presented with were extreme fatigue. I had cystic acne so badly, I was at the dermatologist like 6 times in 4 months. I could not lose weight no matter what I did. And believe me, I tried everything. And my mood was all over the place. And bless my husband, he's like, I never noticed. Bless his heart. So yeah, I was quite a wreck. And I was on medication. My doctors told me, yeah, you know what, you might as well not even be on it. So I felt I was in constant looking mode for what could help me. And a friend let me know about the medical medium information with Anthony William. It was on Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop site. This was back in 2015. And when I looked at the information, Dr. Setare, I just got goosebumps all over my body. And I just knew in that moment, this is going to help me heal. So at the time, Anthony was doing readings over the phone. I was put into a lottery system. And then I forgot all about it. And I started, doing the celery juice. And I just started doing some of the recommendations he offered. And then in April of 2016, I got the call, Carrie, you've been chosen to receive a reading from Anthony William. And I remember asking his assistant, Laura, how many people are trying to get a reading with him? And she said, oh, it's thousands upon thousands upon thousands back in 2016. So I got on the phone with him. He offered me my very own protocol. I remember him telling me at the time, Carrie, no more animal products for you, no more meat. And I laughed. I thought that was funny. Fast forward, here I am, almost entirely plant-based. And I had 3 nodules on my thyroid to start. Those went away extremely quickly. And my journey was it wasn't straight up. It was like this. It was up and down and up and down and up and down. I went off my medication. I gained 8 pounds just like that. And it was a very steady, just gathering more information and more information. When I went plant-based and I implemented the information I was given from the medical medium perspective, and this is key, with my training and background as a doctor of clinical psychology, I knew the ins and outs of what it meant for me to be mentally and emotionally well. And as soon as I implemented the knowledge that I had, coupled with the experience that I had, my health just soared. It just soared. And so as of today, no more cystic acne. My mood is very stable. My husband's like, I never noticed. Everything's just the same. And I have 21 pounds that has never come back. And it's just my passion and my pleasure to work with people who are not finding answers, because I was one of those people. And it's a thrill for me to help others, to be connected with like-minded people like yourself, and just share the knowledge and the wisdom that I've come to this point.
Wow, that's amazing. What an incredible story. Wow, that's really outstanding. Yeah, that's just so inspiring. And I guess, from specifically from your healing journey, like what did you do to support your emotional, mental well-being?
Well, I'll tell you, I realized how important grounding is. When we get upset emotionally, and I think so many people with autoimmune conditions or chronic health conditions, they're not understood. They're told it's their fault. So they're coming to the table already at a deficit, and it impacts relationships around you. And so I started really looking into meditation when I discovered what it meant to meditate, which I really didn't know and I really didn't understand. So I was just very open. I researched a bit about it. That was an integral piece for my health and well-being and my healing. The other aspect is just the knowledge base of understanding that when you are upset, you're in a state of contraction. And from that state, information, ideas can't get through to you because you're already occupied. And so my understanding and my training facilitated my knowing what it means to be in a state of expansion. So when you're in a state of expansion, you're feeling good, you're connected to who you are, and now you're available for that information to come through, to overhear someone talking about something that's important to you. And I actually have a little prop that I use when I speak with people. So do you know what this is?
Yeah. What is it called? I forgot what they're called.
Finger trap.
Yes.
It's a finger trap. And so I use the finger trap. It's just such an easy and clear example of when I'm pulling on the finger trap, I'm in a state of resistance. Nothing is happening. I'm not moving. And so do you know how to get out of this?
Oh, you push them together, right?
Correct. You push in and then you're free. And that's leaning in, that's moving into a state of acceptance. But the state of acceptance can be very confusing for people because people think, oh, I just have to accept that I'm here and this is how it's always going to be. And quite the contrary, it's just accepting where you are so you have power over it to do something about it. When we don't accept, there's no power to do anything about the circumstance. So it's a very fine line in terms of understanding what does it mean to lean into a state of acceptance. And it's very counterintuitive. Just like pulling on the finger trap, it's counterintuitive to think I'm going to get out of this if I push in. So I like using those examples, and that was something that I was searching for. So I was always looking for, how are people making this work? What are they doing? And I also realized that the combination of meditation coupled with the sensation of appreciation. So moving beyond gratitude and really delving into answering the question, why am I grateful? And cultivating and nurturing a state of appreciation. And when you're in appreciation, what you appreciate grows. Then you're in a state of expansion, and now we have somewhere to go.
Awesome. And can you like give an example of the appreciation? Because I think like when we're sick, we fixate on what's not going well, right? Like, oh, I have a headache today. Like I'm never going to get better. I'm always going to have headaches. I'm always going to be miserable. I should just quit. I think this is like a conversation that a lot of people have with themselves all the time, right? But yes. I think, a lot of us, can be really in those like kind of like fear-based thoughts and can be really fixated on those, which is very common, very normal, and very valid. But I think in some people who are in a space where they can have like the gratitude and appreciation, it's like, okay, I do have a headache today, but I haven't had a headache in like a week. So that's pretty good because I used to have headaches every day. And like right now I have a headache, but I'm also really appreciative, or I have gratitude for the fact that I didn't have a headache for 7 days before this, and I am improving, and I have been sleeping better. And yeah, today's just not the best day for me, but maybe tomorrow will be different, or something, some kind of like mindset shifts like that. But are there any other ways that you could describe that, like from like gratitude and an appreciation standpoint?
Well, I'll tell you, just to start off, what I recommend is people put their hand over their heart, because when you put your hand over your heart, you start the flow of oxytocin, And if you're familiar with that level of biochemistry, it's the feeling that you get when you put your baby on your chest, or your fur baby, or you give someone a hug. And so from a biochemical level, when we're in pain, we are really in a state of fight or flight on some level. And so in order to be able to get to the information that you just shared, like, okay, let me examine what is now, but what's been also. Let me compare the two. In order to have the emotional fortitude to be able to do that, we need to ground and reset our biochemistry. And just the fact of putting your hand over your heart can be enough of a shift. I can't tell you how many of my own patients have said that that little gesture has made just such a difference. And in addition, my husband, who's also a clinical psychologist and Mayo Clinic certified wellness coach, works a bit with energy medicine. And there's a lot to be said about this particular kind of energy work that he does. It's called Jin Shin Jitsu. It sounds like a martial art form, but it's actually an energy work kind of therapy. And so a lot of times when we get overwhelmed and upset, our energy shoots out of us. That results in my feeling very cold sometimes. And so believe it or not, if you just hold your thumb, this can help ground you. This is why babies suck their thumbs. It's because it helps them feel safe. So when you get into that space of knowing I have the tools that exist within me for me to calm and soothe myself, and I know that when I focus on appreciation, I feel better. I'm able to notice more things going correctly. That's amazing. One other technique I recommend is when you're feeling well, videotape yourself, talking to yourself. This is me talking to the me that's having the panic attack right now, that's struggling with the depression right now, that feels like there's no hope for me and this pain will never end right now. I am here to tell you that there is life outside of this moment, and I am living proof. And there is nothing more impactful than having you yourself speak to you. And listen, I'm a professional and I want to be there for people, but there's no voice in the world more powerful than your own.
Wow. That is such an incredible tool.
Yeah, I love it. I love that tool. And people sometimes are like, oh, I don't know. And if you don't want to videotape yourself, audio tape yourself. You don't have, it doesn't have to be video, it could be audio. So it's, again, one of the things that I look for when I'm working with people is I look to ask the right questions so that they can be surprised by their answers. Sometimes it just shoots out and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know I felt like that. And I've had that experience. And when that happens, it's magic.
Yeah. Wow. What incredible tools you're sharing. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's so my pleasure.
The other question that I had is, so when you're helping people who are experiencing chronic health symptoms, like what symptoms do you often see from like a mental health perspective? Like what kind of things are you often like seeing and dealing with?
Well, I'm often seeing people who are overwhelmed by the stress in their lives and by negative emotions. And there is an inertia that happens when, it's a slippery slope. But it works in both directions. That's the thing about appreciation. Have you ever had one of those days where you roll out of bed on the wrong side and you stub your toe, and then you go to get coffee and you spill it on yourself, and then you get in your car and there's all this traffic and everything just seems to be going wrong?
Yeah.
But have you ever had times where you get out of bed, you're feeling pretty well, the sun is shining, somebody pays you a compliment, you get a lot of things done that day, you feel super accomplished. There's an emotional inertia to your focus. And so when I work with people, whether it be people struggling with depression or anxiety, bipolar issues, and especially relationship issues, because as you know, you take yourself wherever you go. And so if you're taking that emotional energy with you that's not serving you, it's likely not going to serve the circumstances that you come into. So really what I do is I help people exercise their muscle. This is an internal muscle that I'm talking about. Exercise that muscle and get stronger at being able to have a conversation within their own mind and hearts. And like, hold on, how do I reset? Let me go get grounded. I had one gal having a full-on panic attack. We were in my office, and outside my office is like a beautiful Zen waterfall garden. It's just so, it's so calming. And I said, let's go outside and we're going to sit on the grass and we're going to ride this out. And we did the hand over the heart. We just started talking. Really, it was within minutes. She started to feel better. And so if you think about the earth's energy, it's tremendously grounding and it can absorb anything. And so that's one other little technique that I like to tell people is get out, walk on the grass barefoot, or sit down and hand over the heart.
Wow. What I just got goosebumps as you told that story. That's really amazing. And it's one of those things where it's like these like really simple acts, but I think when you are not feeling well, fight or flight, just mentally not well either, it's really hard to do those things. And yeah, I think it really is just amazing that, you know, like people like you exist that can help people kind of tap into those things within themselves and, you know, outside of themselves to, you know, help ground themselves and make them feel better. And, you know, especially you having that experience of like overcoming chronic illness, I just think it just makes you such a valuable resource for people. Because I think, you know, my clients are always asking me, do you have any recommendations for medical medium practitioners that can help with like, you know, therapy or mental emotional health or anything like that? And our resources are very limited at this time. There are several people that do it, but their time is also very valuable and very limited as well. So I'm just so happy that we connected and that, you know, now that hopefully more people know about you and can connect with you. And if people did want to connect with you and potentially work with you, how can they do that?
They are welcome to go to my website at www.heartlightps.com. Okay. And you're absolutely welcome to call me there. I do have a cell phone there that people can reach out to me directly. I'm on Instagram as Dr. Carrie Niven and on all the socials, so I can be reached that way. And I do have availability currently in my schedule to see patients.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, yeah. Fabulous. Oh, that's really, really wonderful. And do you have any like last words that you want to share with everyone?
Yes, don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Know that in your darkest times, that there exists inside of you your light, and you can grow that light. You can find the answers. The answers are there. And if you can take care of yourself mentally and emotionally, put yourself into that state of expansion, you're going to hear something, you're going to notice something on TV. Some piece of information is going to make its way to you. You just need to allow it. And by that, I mean, care enough about yourself to value opening yourself up and taking care of yourself mentally and emotionally. It sets the stage for your health to skyrocket. And that's what happened to me. And if it can happen to me, it can happen to you.
Oh, that's so lovely. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. And I'll make sure to link your profile information here as well. And yeah, so anyone, if you want to contact Dr. Carrie Niven, she's an incredible resource, and yeah, she has availability. So thank you so much for meeting with me, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you, Dr. Setare, and thank you, everyone.
All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye.